This video is about the Love is Blind experiment on Netflix that everyone's all abuzz with. It is very fascinating when we can observe people going through relationships, figuring themselves out, their thoughts, their patterns, their behaviors. I'm Eileen Head, the Relationship Whisperer, and I'm an Enneagram personality pattern coach. What I loved about this series is that everyone in the experiment felt it was a worthwhile experiment. They said they would do it again, even those who had the most cringe-worthy moments. And wouldn't you agree that we all have cringe-worthy moments? And those are the times that we can most learn about ourselves. Generally, we don't do them on national TV. So this is a spoiler alert. I'm going to be talking about their personalities in detail. Come back and watch it if you haven't watched it all the way through yet. I'm going to be referring to my notes because I don't want to miss any points that might help you understand in more depth. The information I'm sharing with you is based on the world-renowned and well-respected Enneagram personality model, which has gathered scientific data on personalities and behaviors since the 1700s. We all have challenging patterns, and when we become aware of them and how to manage them more effectively, relationships do get easier. Today, I want to look at Carlton and Diamond because it makes me very sad to hear they are getting death threats. And I feel that if people understood them at a deeper level and understood that they were vulnerable, they were real, they wouldn't judge and they might have more compassion for them. Because the truth is, we all have reactions that we wish we could take back when we're not our best selves. When we know better, we do better, right? Knowing why we reacted a certain way and how to change the pattern is powerful. Carlton shared with us that he felt freer now, that the secret was out. And he said it could have taken him down a very dark road. He shared with emotion. He said that I would give anything to be sitting on a couch as a couple at the end of this experiment. Carlton is an expresser, and they wear their hearts on their sleeves. He proposed with words like, "Will you be my queen?" which is very dramatic and expressive, and not usually the words that other personalities use. Throughout the season, you can feel his emotions right there near the surface and also bubbling over, when tears would roll down his face. And being vulnerable and expressive and emotional like that is very challenging for a man. That's the depth of vulnerability. And that's one of the beautiful things about expressors. They teach us to feel the feelings and experience life through emotions. And truly, it brings more color into our lives when we allow ourselves to do that. Expressors believe that they will never be fully understood, and they often feel defective. They suppress their emotions, and then the emotions erupt when they get so big they can't hold on to them anymore. I saw Carlton beat himself up because he felt weird and like no one would ever understand him. And when you have a program like that running inside of you, you will be rejected. It's a life-fulfilling prophecy. What you focus on brings more of that to you. Each personality has their own unconscious programs, which can be challenging. We watched him struggle with his emotions, and I thought he felt he was really being authentic. And then you could see it sort of breaking him down when he knew he wasn't being authentic and then he needed to disclose it to Diamond. But unfortunately, he waited till after the proposal and they were in Mexico. And the reason he did that was he wanted her to see the kind of man he was and the relationship that they could have together. He wanted to wait until the relationship was strong enough to make that big announcement, but it was eating himself up inside. and he needed to be real and authentic. And that's another trait of the expressor. For Diamond, she was blindsided. And she said she felt like it was a betrayal and should have been divulged in the beginning. Then she could have made a different decision, maybe agreeing to the proposal or not. Who knows, right? It might have made a difference. When she questioned his integrity, that he had played the experiment, things went downhill. Carlton became defensive and reactionary. Certainly, the fear of judgment and rejection created a buildup of emotion. And as she started to share how she felt about when he shared this and how he shared this, and he wasn't listening to her, and she wanted to be heard as well, the old pattern resumed. That he needed to defend himself. She was never going to accept him, and he lashed out. For Diamond, probably in the past and in other relationships, she had experienced dishonesty or withholding or being untruthful, and that was her trigger. And then she lashed out as well. But like most couples, when you both want to be validated and understood at the same time in heated moments, old patterns arise where both feel betrayed and taken advantage of. And we've probably all experienced each side of this in our relationships: fear, rejection, betrayal, taken advantage of. Expressors at their core believe that they will be abandoned and that patterns will continue to play out until they understand at a deep level, where did that belief come from? If Carlton were to come to me, I would show him the positives of his personality, that he's sensitive and caring and authentic and deeply loving and expresses himself passionately and is present in relationships. That's what people value in expressors. I would help him to recognize that when emotional patterns are building up, and what he can do with those intense feelings, how they impact a partner, and how to still feel the feelings and manage the emotions. At the end, Carlton beautifully apologized to Diamond in a very expressive way. Learning your Enneagram will help you to accept all the parts of yourself. And that can be life-changing. It was for me. So stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to be sharing Jessica and Mark's journey.